Are you ready to build wealth?
I am. Are you?
Moving forward with the Dekker team. Moving forward together with the Dekker team.
We are excited to welcome you to another episode of Life's Inside Track. I'm Yetta Dekker.
I'm Ken Dekker.
And today we have Mindset Mastery Mentor Suzan Hart with us. And you're thinking, why do you need a mindset person? It's because we share thoughts, tips, tools, and truths, and some techniques that we all need, we all deserve, so we can turn our house into home, our families thrive, and we get to build wealth wisely through real estate. We're going to consider how our mindset actually shifts our ability to build wealth wisely.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's that simple. So, Suzan.
Hello.
Hello. How are you?
I am well.
Hello and welcome. Suzan, by the way, you challenge me. You're like one of my besties, and you challenge me with my mindset. Imagine that, because you're a mindset mastery mentor.
Mm-hmm.
And you just live it, breathe it, so you don't,
She still has mindset. She has
can't
to
get
keep
away from it. Kind of like we're realtors. You can't get away
That's
from
right.
it. It's just, we live
Everywhere
it
you go, there I am.
There you are.
Yeah.
And so we thought this would be an interesting dialogue because I don't think we've ever gone deep into the mindset because we're not mindset mastery mentors. Suzan is. So we thought, who better to talk about wealth and how to build wealth wisely by using what's between the ears?
Or removing what's stuck between the ears.
Oh, well said.
There you
Well
go.
Well said.
Yeah.
So
where does it all start?
yeah.
Where do you start when you want to look at your mindset?
Because you want to build wealth.
Yeah. Where do you start?
For me, I start with what I call acceptance. And oftentimes when people think of acceptance, they think of giving up. Like, I'm just going to accept where I am.
Yeah.
However, acceptance is not giving up. Acceptance is looking at the what so of the situation. What are the facts? And you often notice that we see the facts and then we tell ourselves some awful story about the facts.
Or a fictitious story that
Or some-
we think is fantasy land.
Right.
And that's not helpful either.
So the mind, we make things up.
Right.
So when we're looking at acceptance, it's actually kind of looking at the data.
We just did a show on stats and data.
Well, it's
and
kind-
you were in the audience, like
Kind of the same
kind of
thing.
the same thing. Right?
What is the data, the information, the truth, regardless of my opinion, regardless of what I think, regardless of what story I want to make up? If I take all that away, what's the truth of the matter? Is really what we're looking at when we get to acceptance.
Do you sometimes need somebody to reveal that truth to you, or can it be self-discovered?
I think part of it can be self-discovered. So for example, we're talking about real estate, we're talking about investment. So one of the great places to start is, let me look at where my financial situation, my financial reality is at. So I can look at my bank account and get a pretty good picture of what my reality is. However, I'm not in real estate, so I might seek out someone to help me look at the reality of my situation in relation to real estate and get a different picture.
And a more expanded picture or a more complete picture.
Absolutely. The key thing about acceptance is not doing what I wish I could, and also not doing something because I'm thinking of something else. It's like, what is the true reality of the situation you find yourself in? Now, one of the things about acceptance, when I say take out the story, some of us have stories of I can't. Some of us have stories of I'm not good enough. Some of us have stories of our family has never done this, so therefore it's not okay.
Mm-hmm.
So when we're in acceptance, if we take away all that extra and we just look at the facts, new opportunities often emerge because we're actually looking at truth and going, given the truth I see right here, what is truly possible? And that's when it's great to get into a conversation with someone. This is my actual situation. Tell me what's possible.
I love that. And as you're saying it, I have stories running through my head because after 35 years in the industry, there's a couple of stories of experiences with clients, just a couple thousand probably. And one of the stories that keeps running through my head is the number of times somebody comes to us or has come to us with the best of intentions, like wanting a home like nobody's business, whether an investment property or whether a principal residence, and they're convinced it's just going to come together regardless of the facts. There's no acceptance of truth of where they are. They go, well, it'll just happen, or God will make it happen, or if it's, if it's meant to be, it's going to be. And it's like, no. Like, we actually have to look at the reality. We have to accept where we are. If you have not saved, if you haven't put any money in your bank account, if you're spending more money each month than you're actually earning, owning a home is going to be pretty tough to do.
Absolutely.
Well, and that's why I like the clarity call that we offer. Because the clarity call in 15 minutes, or for you, 30 minutes, for 15 minutes, you can find out kind of where their position is, what their reality is, and then decide whether we need a more comprehensive consultation on how to move forward, or if they're not even in a position to move forward yet, what's a couple things they could do to
position themselves
to improve that position. Yeah. And that can happen in the clarity call, or we may have to go into a more consultative call or visit, and love doing those.
What's neat about the clarity call, and when you combine that with acceptance, is if I do my work and I look at the lay of the land according to Suzanne, according to my mind and my knowledge, if I'm able to take that information and now place it in front of an expert, a Ken Dekker, likely he may also see things that I don't see and don't know. So I know for myself, when Ken and I had a conversation, he pointed out things to me and opportunities to me that I didn't see. However, I had to first do the work of acceptance in terms of this is the reality of my situation. Now, I don't have all the tools to interpret that reality. He does.
Right. And you have somewhere to start.
Absolutely.
Right.
And he couldn't do the reality if I didn't do my work and say, let me accept where I am. This is my truth. And then put it in front of an expert.
Yeah, because often what we'll ask people to do is use the tools from the wealth formula and do their net worth statement and their spending plan and their cash flow so that we can see what might be possible. And the number of times somebody has said, well, it means I can't do anything based on what I know. And I look at it and go, no, shift like two little things and you're good to go, or shift nothing and you're good to go. Just shift what you're accepting in your mind.
Yeah. And I think the beautiful thing about acceptance, it's also confronting. So
it's uncomfortable.
It's uncomfortable. It requires that I'm willing to accept my reality. And for many of us, that's confronting. However, when I'm willing to accept my reality, I'm in a possibility of a movement now. I have the possibility of advancement. The first thing in creating opportunity is sitting in acceptance.
Ooh, I love that. We started with opportunity and we're wrapping this segment with opportunity.
Absolutely.
You got to get to acceptance before you can get to opportunity.
Yeah. And I think Aristotle said it. Knowing yourself is the beginning of all wisdom. And we're so excited that you joined us, because we're positioning you to build wealth wisely through real estate, because it's about much more than just the money.
Moving forward with the Dekker team. Moving forward together with the Dekker team.